Well, that time is upon us again. It's an election year, and so I'm sure most of you are like me. You've been swamped with ads from candidate A or candidate B, and each one is telling you how the opposite's vision for this country would turn it into a shithole, and why they are better. And you've also probably been bombarded with ads telling everyone to get out and vote. Get out and vote, they say. Make sure your voice is heard. But I, on the other hand, am going to give you the exact opposite message. And it's a bit of evergreen content because I believe it will always be relevant so long as we're always having elections. But there are at least 4 groups of people in this country that I believe should never go anywhere near a voting booth. And I believe we'd all be better off for it. And so without any further ado, allow me to get into the 4 groups of people that I believe should not vote. Number 1 is the constitutionally illiterate. If you don't understand the Constitution, which is the government, by the way, not our elected representatives, if you don't understand what each person running for office, regardless of the office they're running for, if you don't understand the responsibilities of the President of the United States, you don't understand the responsibilities of a senator or a member of the House of Representatives, please, for the love of God, don't go anywhere near a voting booth. You don't even understand how our government works. Why should you vote if you don't understand the foundational document of this country? Please familiarize yourself with the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers. Please read the Constitution. You are without excuse. We were supposed to have learned this in civics in elementary school. If you don't know, don't vote. You're hurting the rest of us. Number 2, the party line voter. The party line voter will vote for a particular party, be that an R, a D, an L, a G, insert whatever party you'd like, but they're brainwashed into a particular party, thinking that their party is the savior of the country. They will not examine the candidate running for office because they believe that their particular party is automatically better than the opposing candidate because they think, like I said, that the party, not the individual, is the savior of the country. Please familiarize yourself with the candidates running for office, what they propose to do on the issues, and don't believe the lies that a Republican or a Democrat is automatically better than the other. And that even goes for libertarians or Green Party members. Just because someone is a member of a party that you feel you most closely align with, familiarize yourself with how that candidate would govern. Don't believe the lie that a particular party is the savior of this country. It is that thinking that has in part got us into the mess that we're in. Republicans and Democrats have led to the downfall of this country equally, if I may say so myself. Please familiarize yourself with what a particular candidate proposes to do before you vote. Number 3 is the lesser of two evils voter. Now, the lesser of two evils voter is very similar to the party line voter. They could look at a candidate and say, well, I don't really like this candidate. They're horrible. And they look at the opposite candidate and they say, well, that one's awful. They're just a god-awful mess. And it's really the difference between voting for a crap sandwich and a soggy crap sandwich. If you can't make a case for why you're voting for a particular candidate and make an intelligent case, not just because candidate X is associated with an R or a D. If you can't explain to an individual why you're voting, for a particular candidate, and it's not just because it's a protest vote to keep candidate D or candidate R out of office, please don't vote. It is better to abstain than to vote for a candidate you can't get behind. There are worse things in this country than voting for a candidate that you cannot reconcile with your own conscience. Number 4 is the know-nothings. The know-nothings usually just watch mainstream media. They're not really informed on the issues. They only show up typically every 4 years around presidential election time. They don't understand the responsibilities of the president. They think typically that the president of the United States is just some kind of emperor that can rule through executive order. That's why I said that the constitutionally illiterate are probably the most dangerous, because the know-nothings are usually constitutionally illiterate because they know nothing. They don't understand how the Constitution works. They're brainwashed into a particular party's ideology, and they don't keep up with the issues. We are suffering because of people like that. And it's a shame that people like myself and people that show up to the town hall meetings, people that really know what's going on in this country, have to suffer because of people who sit around with their head in the sand, go and vote every 4 years. For the love of God, please don't go anywhere near a voting booth. I think I speak for a good majority of Americans, regardless of where you line up ideologically. We are tired of suffering for your stupid decisions. Please, if you fall into any of these 4 groups, don't go anywhere near a voting booth. Familiarize yourself with the Constitution. Do not be brainwashed by party ideology, because party ideology got us into this mess. It's not Republican or Democrat. It is we the people versus the people who want to take our rights away. And believe it or not, they're in all parties. Progressivism is the disease, and it is deeply rooted in both parties. These people want to progressively turn us into a communist state. And don't think that it's just Democrats or it's just Republicans. There are people in both parties that want to take your rights away. And even with people in the Libertarian Party. There are people in the Libertarian Party who want to criticize people in the Republican Party or people in the Democratic Party, rightly so. But they can't come up with proper solutions to this mess. Don't fall into party ideology. Please don't allow yourself to fall into any of these 4 groups. And if this offends you, if this video offends you, you're part of the problem. Educate yourself. I think that we would all be better off if these people did not go anywhere near a voting booth. This is perfectly preventable. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Help me get this message out. It's not a popular one, but it needed to be said. And so that's why I'm saying it to you today. Because I care about this country. And I'm tired of seeing stupid, uninformed people ruin the blessings of liberty for the rest of us.